Next, Mary Backstage, Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Back safely from their adventures in the Dry Tortugas, Mary and Harry are concentrating on a return to their theatrical career by way of a television game show to be produced by Greg Marlowe. As we join them, they're in the studios of Amalgamated Broadcasting discussing the format of the program with the director, Phil Fish, who says,
First, let me say how nice it is to be working with you two people again. I was sorry that your last series, Mr. and Mrs. Broadway, didn't go longer than it did.
Well, it was one of those things.
Oh, yes, and we were getting pretty tired of it anyway, Phil.
Well, we decided after that failure that it was the time of day. You know, we're on at 5:30 a.m.
Yes, I know you were.
And you don't have many viewers at that time of day. I don't care what anybody says.
And besides, the big thing right now isn't so much a talk show as it is a game show. Big money, big prizes, a lot of fun.
Well, look, I think we'll have the big archway where the contestants come onto the stage right over there where that carpenter's standing.
Oh, that's nice.
That would put you, Mrs. Bax, may I call you Mary?
Please.
Mary, that would put you over here to the stage left. And Harry, I think you would be at the other side, stage right.
Now, I'm going to play the organ, you know, all the funny music when the contestant comes on, and then when they give a wrong answer, I'll have kind of a funny, sour note to play on the organ. Where will I be seated?
Adds a little humor.
You'll be right over there, just off the edge of the stage where you can see the program in a monitor or a little television set.
Will I ever get on camera, Mr. Fay?
Oh, I'm sure we'll see that you do, Calvin.
Well, it's not that I care particularly. I just know the mother of me would be a little thrilled or delighted to see me on the TV set.
She'll be tuned in. Incidentally, when is this scheduled to begin, Phil? Do you know?
No, Mr. Marlowe hasn't told me that either. There are quite a few loose ends, I think, that have to be cleared up before we start.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
Have you decided on the time of day for this show?
Oh, I think this will be on early evening, maybe 7:30 or so.
Oh, that's a good time.
Oh, that's a great time. We'll get everybody for it.
Now, you want us to have a regular run-through, is that it?
That's right, Mary. We just feel loose about it. Calvin, you'll announce the opening of the show, and then you'll go over there and come in as the sampled contestant. This is just a run-through, you know.
Yes, I understand. Now, where will I do the announcing? Into what microphone, and then where will I go to come out then as the first contestant?
You'll use that microphone just off stage to your left.
Uh-huh.
Then you'll come through the arch in the center of the stage down to where Mary and Harry sit at the question desk.
I see.
And as I understand it, we're going to have 3 rounds of questions, Phil, is that right?
No, just one question, the qualifying question. Then they go on to identify the tune, and then they estimate the number of kernels in that barrel of popping corn.
All
So
right.
go and take your place. I'll go into the control room, and we'll start off just as if this was a real show.
All right.
Go ahead.
Now it's time for Pick Your Brains with Harry and Mary Backstage. And now here they are, the human encyclopedias, Mr. and Mrs. Backstage.
Thank you very much, Calvin Hoogerman.
Thank you, Calvin, and hello again, game lovers, and welcome to Pick Your Brains.
Oh, we're going to have fun here tonight, and we're going to meet some wonderful contestants. Let's bring the first one right out here now.
Hello, I'm Calvin Hoogerman. I'm Calvin Hoogerman. I'm Calvin Hoogerman.
If you give us a correct answer, you'll hear this. And if you give us an incorrect answer, you'll hear this. Now, we have 3 rounds, a qualifying question, then a song to identify, and then you have to estimate the popping corn. Do you want to pick a category for your first question?
Okay. Articles of the Confederation.
No, that's the answer. You're reading the answer, Calvin. Here's the subject up here.
American Revolution.
American Revolution. All right, Mr. Hoogerman, for your first question. Between 1777 and 1781, as a result of the Revolution, the 13 colonies adopted a code of laws under which they attempted but failed to govern themselves. These laws were known by a specific name. What was it?
You have 10 seconds, Mr. Hoogerman.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The Articles of Confederation.
Right! You are right. Very good. And you can go along now to identify the tune, the second part of your Pick Your Brains game show. We're going to ask Mr. Music over there. You're Mr. Music,
I'm
Calvin.
Mr. Music
Right.
in reality.
Well, for this practice, you'll have to run over and play.
let me run over to the organ.
We're going to ask Mr. Music over there at the organ to play a part of a very familiar song, and you're to identify that song. Are you ready, Mr. Hoogerman?
I'm ready to play the
Over
song.
here into the microphone, Calvin.
What?
Come over here and answer.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, you all ready for your identifying tune?
Yes, sir.
All right. And here is your song to identify. All right, now, what was that song, Mr. Hoogerman? Back over this microphone, Calvin.
All right, I'll tell you.
Now, you heard Mr. Music play part of a very familiar song.
Could I
See if you can identify it.
hear that once more?
Yes, of course. Mr. Music, I wonder if you'd play those few notes once more. Here they are, Mr. Hoogerman. Listen closely. Oh, wait. I was talking while he was playing. Let's try it again from over here. Listen very closely now, Mr. Hoogerman, as Mr. Music plays those few notes.
Oh, wait a minute. You gotta give me... I'm out of breath.
Oh, I don't blame you. So am I.
Where am I? Am I a contestant or Mr. Music?
You're a contestant now, but when I say Mr. Music, you're Mr. Music.
Well, what is it? The next thing I do, am I Mr. Music?
Mr. Music, you
All
play
right.
the song.
All right.
All right. Now, Mr. Music, will you play that tune, please? All right, now. Now, Mr. Hoogerman, you have 5 seconds to identify that melody. What was it?
I don't know.
And so rehearsals go on for the Backstage's television game show, Pick Your Brains. But there's a surprise in store next time when we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
I have big news for you.
that's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. On Friday, wealthy Jacobus Pike offered to back a new Greg Marlowe production to include the Backstages on the condition that Pike's friend Felicia Floodgate be starred. Now, in Greg's office a bit later, he, Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin discussed the situation.
Well, I think, Greg, that, I think you're risking a lot. You're risking your fame as a producer and in putting on an unknown. Now, I don't mean to say that she isn't good, but she is not known.
She's never had any experience on the Broadway stage, Greg. Her name means nothing to anyone, and we are, of course, seasoned performers. We're known.
And another thing, I don't think that at this stage of our career we should be billed, as also the Backstages.
Yeah, that was another thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. We don't have to be starred necessarily, but I think also starring Backstages would be good.
What was her name?
Felicia Floodgate.
Felicia Floodgate. Something lyrical and musical about that name, though.
It falls typically off the tongue, title.
Yeah, it sounds nice when you say it. Felicia Floodgate.
Felicia Floodgate. It would look nice up in lights, I'll admit.
It sounds like a star's name right then and there. Felicia Floodgate. Well, I don't know. She's not a star. And that song she sings, what's it called?
Missouri.
Missouri. How you can work a play, a storyline around that song.
I was going to get around to that, Greg. What show are you going to do?
I don't know. This is for the writers to figure out. The writers can do anything. The point here that we mustn't forget or overlook is that the money's coming from Mr. Pike to present this show.
Oh, of course. That's important.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
Where the money comes from is one of the big things.
I think that it's almost imperative that we keep Mr. Pike happy.
Oh, well,
yes, I think certainly. That's certainly something you want to bear in mind to keep Mr. Pike happy.
And the only way that I can see of keeping him happy is to build a show around Miss Floodgate.
Well, I guess we're all agreed then. We'll go along with that, won't we, Mary?
Well, I don't have much to say about it, but I do want that billing straightened out. I don't want to be listed as also.
No, I think also starring it should be, not just also.
Well, even also starring way down at the bottom, it's like an afterthought.
Yeah, it should be up at the top. Starring Felicia Floodgate, then right under that also starring Mary and Harry Backstage.
Well, I think we've got to get everything straightened out here first. He wants it Felicia Floodgate.
Yes, he
then
does.
The name of the play, and then you people. Now, as I just explained to you, that's the story.
Where's your credit going to be, Mr. Barlow?
I'll take care of that later. I haven't given it any thought. To me, that's unimportant. That's unimportant?
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 Unimportant? What do you
Since
mean?
when, Mr. Marlowe? You've always had credits.
Since now, it's unimportant.
And so our friends discussed the various ramifications of starring Miss Felicia Floodgate in Greg's new show. And will they be agreed? Be sure and join us tomorrow when we'll hear Greg say,
Maybe we could do some kind of a Tom Swift show.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Greg Marlowe's musical production of A Tale of Two Cities is due to open at New York's Summer Garden Theater this Friday evening. And today we join our friends at the theater as rehearsals continue, and Greg explains what he wants to work on in this morning's sketch.
Now, what we want to do here today is the opening number.
Oh,
We're
good.
going to go from the overture, the curtain will go up, and you, Calvin, will read the opening statement.
Like the
That's
soliloquy, kind of, isn't it?
Right, it is a soliloquy. You will be off stage, Calvin, and just your voice will be heard in the theater.
Oh, that'll be very impressive.
I was wondering if we could use, I was just thinking, man, I'd like your advice on this. Maybe we could have a little rear screen, maybe something thrown up on the one of those...
a projection screen?
Yeah,
Sure.
Something like with the guillotine, maybe.
Oh, maybe that, or scenes of St. Louis and Cleveland.
Uh-huh.
That might work, too. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I'm wide open. But don't you think they should be looking at something while they're listening to Calvin?
How about having a shadow of a guillotine across St. Louis and Cleveland?
Not a bad idea. Yes. Superimpose the guillotine over
Right,
the two
right.
cities. Uh-huh. Let me make a note of that.
Let me close the curtain so we can get a proper feeling for the opening of the show. I'm going out front and watch this. Mary, do you want to come along with me?
Yes, I want to see how this... what will we be looking at now? Just nothing?
Just the orchestra pit and the curtain closed.
We have just the piano player here to play the overture.
Sandy is here?
Yeah, he's here.
All right.
Of course, we'll have the full orchestra when the show opens for dress.
Oh, sure.
Next, Wednesday or Thursday.
Right.
Okay, I think we're all set to go. I'm kind of excited about it.
Yes, I am, too.
Are you ready back there, Calvin? Yes, sir. I'm ready. Okay, Maestro.
Anytime you say, Mr. Marlowe.
Hit it, Sandy.
Well, that's your song, Mary.
Guillotine Blues.
Kind of gives you a thrill to hear it in overture form, doesn't it?
I get goosebumps just now, just thinking of it. Soon we'll be for real with the full orchestra.
Yes.
I'll be singing Guillotine Blues.
A few more days.
All the critics will be sitting right here where we are.
Tell me when you want the curtain to go up, Mr. Marlowe.
Yeah. All right, slowly bring up the curtain.
Right.
Tone it down a little, Sandy, and Calvin, and go right ahead.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct the other way.
And so, the opening of Tale of Two Cities draws ever closer, and Calvin does his rehearsing for the opening scene. Tomorrow, you want to join us when we'll hear Greg say,
Very good, Calvin. Very good.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway.
Rehearsals continue at New York's Summer Garden Theater. Rehearsals for Greg Marlowe's new musical production of Tale of Two Cities, due to open Friday evening. And on the stage of the Summer Garden Theater, Greg is directing Mary and Harry in a scene which will star Felicia Floodgate on Friday, but today...
Okay, folks, I want to run through Act 2, Scene 3. Or 13, I'm sorry. Did y'all make a note of that?
Yes, Act 2, Scene 13. Right, Greg. Oh, good morning, Miss Floodgate.
Hi, Miss Floodgate. You, of course, will be Lucy Manette. You're the heroine of this piece, and it's a very strong role. And Harry, you'll be Sidney Carton here. So would you take it, Lucy, from where you say, I fear you are not well, Mr. Carton?
Well, excuse me, Miss Floodgate. Greg, could I see you for a moment over
sure.
here?
Yeah, right. Yes,
Well, did you hear it?
No.
Greg, her line was, I fear you're not well, Mr. Carton.
I know what she's supposed to say.
But she said dippa-dippa-dippa-dippa-da.
Listen, how can we look a gift horse in the mouth? She has to be in this play, and we don't have any money.
I know, but if
now,
she
let's
can't...
go back and try it
if
again.
she can't say the lines, Greg... But, Greg, if you...
Okay, let's try it again. That was nice, Miss Floodgate. Very nice.
I wonder if you give me the cue again, Felicia, if I may call
where
you that.
you say, I fear you are not well, Mr. Carton.
Dippa-dippa-dippa-da, dippa-dippa-dippa-doo.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Harry.
Did she give me the cue?
You've had it.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
No.
Mr. Marlowe, listen.
Now, Mary, don't...
Greg, could I talk to you?
Yes, of course.
Are you going to have her say dippa-dippa-doo, dippa-dippa-da in the play? Because it doesn't make any sense. People sitting in the theater will think that they've lost their mind.
Well, as I...
Mary, keep it down. I can hear you over here.
Well, as I explained to Harry, they put up the money, and she has to be in the play. We just have to learn to put up with her dippa-dippa-doos and dippa-dippa-das. That's all there is
How
to
will
it.
I know the cue, Greg?
Right.
Excuse me.
Let's try it again this time.
Once more, please, Felicia.
Felicia, maybe Mary, just so we can get an accurate timing, will do your lines just for this rehearsal. Is that all right with you, Miss Floodgate?
Dippa-dippa-da, dippa-dippa-dippa-doo.
Fine. All right, Mary, just for a timing, if you would. You're Miss Manette.
I fear you are not well, Mr. Carton.
No, but the life I lead, Miss Manette, is not conducive to health. What is to be expected of or by such profligates?
Is it not, forgive me, I have begun the question on my lips, a pity to give no better life?
It's a shame.
Dippa-dippa-doo, dippa-dippa-da.
Well, Mary! And so Mary stepped in with Felicia Floodgate's lines to help Harry rehearse this scene from A Tale of Two Cities. But how will it go on opening night, Friday? We'll have a hint tomorrow when we'll hear Calvin say,
3 days till the curtain goes out.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. It's 2 a.m. Saturday morning at the Summer Garden Theater off Times Square in New York. The morning of the opening evening of Greg Marlowe's new musical play, A Tale of Two Cities. And Greg has called a last-minute rehearsal of a scene between Pop as Dr. Manette and Calvin as Charles Darnay.
I know you're all tired. I know it's 2 a.m., but this is it. There is no tomorrow. We open tonight.
This is down to the wire, Mr. Marlowe.
I am really tired, Mr. Marlowe, but I know your problems, and I'm willing to go ahead.
Look, Barry and Harry are both slumped in their chairs over there, sound asleep. The chorus is half awake.
Miss Floodgate is at the very expensive hotel, Midtown Hotel, in her suite, I understand.
She's probably asleep and has no worries at all. All she says is dip-a-doo,
Well, she
dip-a-doo-dee-doo.
is a star, and that's where she should be.
Well, I'm beginning to have second thoughts, Mr. Barlow, but...
I want you to make some allowances now for the scene people. They're trying to put that scene together. The scenery, I should say. Right. Well, I want you to be careful, will you, please? They're all on triple overtime right now.
Oh, boy, this is costing you money as producer, Greg. Or wealthy Jacobus Pike, I should say.
It's costing Mr. Pike, actually. All right, this is Act 2, Scene 10.
Right.
Okay, Pop, and...
I'm Dr.
Calvin.
Manette. And...
Right.
Okay. Charles Darnay, I rejoice to see you.
I am obliged. Miss Manette?
Is well, and your return will delight us all. She's gone out on some household matters, but will soon be home.
Dr. Manette, I knew she was from home. I took the opportunity of her being from home to beg to speak to you.
Duke? Yes? Bring your chair here and let's speak of it. Is Lucy the topic?
She is.
Go on.
You anticipate what I would say, though you cannot know how earnestly I say it, Duke. How earnestly I feel it, dear.
Duke?
Without knowing my sacred heart, for God.
Duke.
And the hopes and fears and anxiety, dip-a-dip-a-do.
Quiet, will you? Watch it back
All
there.
right, Mr. Barlow.
This is our last rehearsal before opening night.
Darnay, have you dipped to Lucy?
No.
Nor Duke?
Never have I adopted Dr. Doodle.
Have you any reason to believe that Duke loves you?
Duke, dip-a-down. Dappa-doodle-doo.
May I dupe if you think she is?
Dip-a-dappa-doo. Do-a-doo. If did what I meant to do.
Is sought by any other suitor?
Oh, it is if that Miss Burnett should bring to you any time on her own part the dip-a-dip-a-doo. Dip-a-dip-a-dip-a-dop. Dip-a-dip-a-doo.
Wait a minute. What's the matter, Mr. Barlow?
Dip-a-dip-a-doo.
Mr. Barlow?
Dip-a-dip-a-da.
Yes.
What's the matter?
Dip-a-dip-a-da.
So apparently a case of jitters has taken over this part of the cast of A Tale of Two Cities, and we'll only find out more on Monday if you'll join us when we'll hear Mary say,
Curtain going up.
that's Monday in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. At New York's Summer Garden Theater, Act One of the opening night performance of A Tale of Two Cities is nearing its end. Mary is in the middle of her Guillotine Blues number as Pop Beloved awaits his cue, and we hear,
he really is so sweet, but then again there's me. He's got Ronald Coleman beat. I've got the guillotine blues. Who'd want to be in my shoes? Oh, what the dickens I'm going to lose. I'm getting confused. I've got the guillotine blues. I fear you are not well.
No, but the life I lead, Miss Manette, is not conducive to health. What is to be expected of or by such profligates?
Is it not, forgive me, I have begun the question on my lips, a pity to live no better life?
Oh, it's a shame.
Then why not change it?
It's too late for that. I'll never be better than I am. I shall sink lower and be worse. Forgive me, Miss Manette. I break down before the knowledge of what I want to say to you. Will you hear me?
If it will do any good.
Why are they doing that, Mary?
If it would make you happier, it would make me very glad.
Oh, bless you for your sweet compassion. Don't be afraid to hear me. Don't shrink from anything I say. Or sing.
Pushing a broom. I spend my life pushing a broom. Waste my life away pushing a broom. Pushing a broom all the day. Pushing them up. I spend my life pushing them up. Mopping up the slop, pushing them up. Pushing them up all night.
Dippa-dippa-da, dippa-dippa-doo. Dippa-dippa-da, dippa-doo.
Dusting around. Dusting around. All night.
Get the stick. Get your broomstick.
Huh?
Get your broomstick.
Oh, right, the broomstick. I forgot. Right. And so, as Pop goes through his pushing the broom number with Felicia Floodgate, Mary waits for her next cue as the end of Act One nears. You want to be here tomorrow when we'll hear Mary say,
What is she doing on stage?
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. It's a few minutes after yesterday's episode concluded now in the television studio where the Joe Franklin program is being taped. Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin are to be Joe's next guests, and as we join the episode, his theme is in progress.
You nervous, Harry?
No,
I'm kind of nervous.
presume he's going to introduce us soon. I like that.
Okay, this is Joe Franklin speaking. Several years ago on my program, I introduced a young acting couple who so impressed me with their talent that I was convinced they were destined to go on to Broadway stardom. Well, they've made it and have since been back here with me several times. Currently starring in a musical production of A Tale of Two Cities, here are the Lunt and Fontaine of their generation, Mary and Harry Backstage, and their friends who co-star with them in the show, Calvin Hoogavan and Pop Beloved.
Oh, that's very nice. Very nice, of you,
Thank you
Joe.
very much, Joe. Those are nice words.
How you doing, Joe?
Well, it's a struggle.
Oh, we enjoy your program so much, and it's so nice of you to have us here.
Fantastic topic.
Yes,
Yes.
we were kind of surprised that you taped at 4 a.m. Every day, Joe. This is kind of an unusual hour for us to come into the city.
We arrived in the city about 3 a.m. and we walked. Yes, thank you. And we walked slowly up 8th Avenue up to your studio.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Well, at least it did to us. We thought it was the best way to get here, didn't we?
Well, anyway, what'd you think of that hot?
Your old friend and producer Greg Marlowe, who is secretly in love with Mary Backstage, involved in this particular Broadway show?
Sure, he's the producer, really.
Yes.
Not his money. We have the backing of wealthy Jacobus Pike, of course.
Yes.
But Greg is the producer, and he's still secretly in love with Mary, yes.
I really don't recall any stage productions in recent years of A Tale of Two Cities proportion, much less a musical version.
Yes.
What gave you the idea for this particular show, A Tale of Two Cities?
Well, I forget how it all happened. I think we were reading going through a collection of Dickens' works one night.
Yes.
We'd been drinking, and
It seemed like a natural thing to do.
it seemed like a good idea, as they say.
Did you like it, Joe, when you saw it? Joe?
I think he's drifted off to sleep.
And so our interview begins on the Franklin Show, and we'll continue on Monday, and you want to be here then when we'll hear Joe say,
Have they read the book?
that's Monday in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking.
Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, sponsored by the Mobil Oil Corporation. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. It's the following day now. Harry, Mary, Calvin, and Pop journeyed into downtown Skunk Haven, where Harry is to take his first dance lesson at Leon's dance studio. And as they enter the establishment, we hear...
Oh, it's really a pretty place in here,
Yes, it certainly is. Decorated beautifully, that big crystal chandelier. Oh, hello, Mr. Leon.
Hi. Hi, Backstage.
Well, I'm here for my first...
Would you step over here to my desk?
Yes.
Certainly. And right down here at the bottom, where it says dance student,
Yes.
you'd pick your name.
All right. Harry. There you are.
Very good. Now, I wonder if you'd step next door, you and Mrs. Backstage. She could help you probably pick out your peruke.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. I can't take my lesson in just ordinary civilian clothes. Is that right?
Well, I don't think it would be right. We want...
you wouldn't look very good in the civilian clothes doing a minuet.
We want our students to feel the part, and we think that wearing your powdered wig and your fancy Dan costume...
Sure, the knickers and
those kind of silly slippers that we have.
With the buckles on.
You'll feel more like doing the minuet.
Well, is someone in the shop now so I could get fitted?
Yes, I'm sure there is. There's somebody there year-round.
All right.
We never close.
Can we step through this door here?
If you would.
We'll go with you.
Yeah, I want to
give you moral support. Yes, all right. Come on, Mary.
Excuse me, are you the clerk?
Yes, I am. Can I help you?
Yes. This is a friend of mine. This is Harry Backstage.
Oh, I've seen you many times on Broadway, Mr. Backstage.
And we were told to come in here, and you're going to fit him with a peruke.
That's right. He'll have a peruke and a long coat, knickers.
Will that be satin and so forth?
Yes, with the pants, the knickers will be satin.
Is that a joke? The knickers will be satin?
No, he means satin, S-A-T-I-N.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, I get it.
And what size shoes, Mr. Backstage? 9B, I think.
Okay, that would be just fine. I wonder, should I get an outfit, too?
Well, are you going to take lessons, too? I suppose it would be just as well if you did.
No, I don't think so.
Why don't you, Mary? It'd make it a lot easier for Harry rather than...
Well, maybe I'll do it.
Yes, well, it wouldn't make it so easy for me dancing with you, Calvin.
Well, you do the minuet with a whole bunch of people, as I recall. I remember I saw one movie once where everybody kind of went down a big line.
Right, kind of like a square dance, like they do it in England.
Kind of a very formal square dance where you dance with everybody in the whole room.
All right, will that be 2 sets of minuet costumes then?
Well, yeah, now you want my shoe size?
What's your shoe size?
I have a 12.5 quad.
12.5 quad what?
Quad. Quad-E.
Quad-E.
The widest you can get.
I'll be right back. Don't go away. And so, Calvin decides to take minuet lessons along with Harry as well. You ought to be here on Monday when we'll hear Mr. Leon, the dance instructor, say,
Why, you could stamp out forest fires with feet like that.
That's Monday in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife, sponsored by the Mobil Oil Corporation. Mary Backstage Noble Wife, sponsored by the Mobil Oil Corporation. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Today we look in on Mary, Calvin, and Pop together with Greg Marlowe at the Backstage summer home in Skunk Haven, where they're discussing Harry's strange disappearance as well as Greg Marlowe's proposed trip to Milan, Italy. And we hear Greg say,
You know, I thought it would be an exciting change, something new and unusual for both you and Harry. And, well, I just like the idea. This could open up a whole new vista for you, and your career could really take off.
Really could, Barry, and you'll get a chance to see Italy for the first time.
Well, that's another advantage, but I wasn't thinking so much of that as this wonderful jumping off spot for a new facet in your career.
Singing opera music, huh?
That's right. Yeah, it certainly sounds enticing. Of course, I don't know if I have what you would call a good operatic voice.
Well, you've never sung any opera before, have you, Barry?
Well, I've sung like la 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 la, things like that.
Oh, the Toreador song.
Yeah. Sounds good. Just a little bit you did then, Mary. Oh, thank you, Greg. How about a pot of Toto? Oh, wonderful idea on a day like this. It would really warm the cockles of your heart, wouldn't it? Certainly would.
While you two are making it, I'll call the officer police headquarters, see if there's any word on Harry.
I'll head out to the kitchen. All right, let's go and make some cocoa.
policeman's name? Do you remember, Calvin?
Bernheiser.
Officer Bernheiser. They usually pick it up rather quickly down there.
Yeah, they usually do.
I'm going to be singing that all day now. Toreador song.
Skunk Police.
Hi, is Officer Bernheiser there? This is Pop Beloved at the backstage home. I called about Harry backstage, Officer Bernheiser. I see I'm calling to see if you heard anything from Harry backstage, who disappeared.
Well, as I explained to you, he's done nothing wrong. He's broken no law. We really can't pick him up, although I did send out an all points on him to several of the surrounding states. I'd be in New Jersey, of course, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, maybe
13 of them, I think, wasn't it?
up into New England. So, if they see him, they'll notify us, but of course they can't call or put a call on him because he hasn't broken any law.
Well, you'll be sure and get in touch with us, won't you? And so, Officer Bernheiser tells Pop there's still no news of Harry or his whereabouts. You ought to be here tomorrow when we'll hear the bus driver say, that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Harry Backstage Noble Wife, sponsored by the Mobil Oil Corporation. Word Car speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife, sponsored by the Mobil Oil Corporation. The story of America's favorite family of the footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Today, we return to the seafood restaurant in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, where Harry, suffering from amnesia, and his newfound friend Eddie are enjoying some fish balls. Did we hear Eddie?
Gosh, these are mighty good fish balls, you know.
Certainly are.
That's that tartar sauce there.
Yes, they are. They said this place was famous for this.
You like them?
They're delicious, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just can't get over how a grown man could sit in one of these fish shanties eating fish balls and dressed like he's going to a minuet in 1760.
Well, as I've told you, I don't know why I am dressed this way. Can't remember.
It's really fun. And it's not all that warm out. It's quite chilly.
It isn't.
Yes.
I may have to find myself an overcoat somewhere.
Well, all the stores are closed now till tomorrow morning. Do you have any money with you?
No, I don't have anything in my...
Right in my pockets. You don't have any dough, buddy?
I don't think so.
Well, what's this fish ball? I mean, am I going to be stuck paying for your fish balls?
Afraid you'll have to. I never thought of that. Unless you can trust us, ma'am. And
I don't trust anybody. I've been in the business too long. No, you'll each have to pay, or one will have to pay for both.
See, Eddie, if you could pay for it, and then when I get my memory back, I could send you a check.
Sure, I've heard that one before, too. How long have you been pulling this kind of a scam, anyway? Go around making like you don't know who you are, you eat free, and ride on a bus. Did you pay for your bus ticket?
I must have. The bus driver let me aboard.
I'm just afraid he might stick me with your tab when we get there, wherever we're going.
Where are we going?
Next stop is New Bedford. That's where I get off.
Well, I better seek help.
I always stop here in Fairhaven for fish balls.
Yes, it's famous here. I know that. Maybe I could get the police to help me discover who I am.
Take my advice. Keep away from the fuzz. I mean, once you go to the fuzz wearing a minuet suit with buckles and a powdered wig, they're going to clamp you into the rubber ward, you know?
Yeah, that's very possible. This is a terrible situation I find myself in. Here in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, eating fish balls. I've forgotten who I am.
Hey, I think your bus is starting out.
Oh, it is.
I was just going to ask if you wanted more fish balls. Okay, do you have it now? That'll be $2.15. Okay, I'll pay for it.
Okay, Eddie, thanks very much.
Ma'am, I don't have the money to give you a tip. Next time I come through here, I'll remember it. Oh, that's all right. I don't want a tip. I just want to be paid for the fish balls.
Well, goodbye, and thank you for the fish balls. They were delicious.
Okay. Have a nice journey.
Yes, we will. Coming, driver, coming. All right, it is cold.
We're moving out of here.
All right. Now,
how do you like those?
What?
Baseball.
Oh, they were delicious.
They're great, aren't they?
That place is famous for them, just like you said.
Before I forget, you have the money for this ride?
Didn't I pay you for the ticket?
No. I thought your pal was paying for you.
Why, no. Not at all. And so Harry begins to discover he's in a deeper problem than he thought. Not being able to remember who he is and being without money. And you want to be here tomorrow when we'll hear the bus driver say,
This thing is sinking.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Sponsored by the Mobil Oil Corporation. Word Car speaking.
Mary Backstage Noble Wife, sponsored by the Mobil Oil Corporation. The story of America's favorite family of the footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Today we look in at the Backstage home on Long Island where there's still no word of Harry. But as they await a call from the Skunk Haven police, Mary, Calvin, and Pop are discussing their projected trip to Italy to appear at La Scala Opera House in Milan.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Mr. Marlowe, Greg, I just can't think about offering traveling, not knowing where Harry is. Well, I understand.
See, it's kind of first things first. We got to find Harry before they can say they could go to Italy.
Well, I understand how you feel about that, Mary, but aren't the police looking for him?
Yeah, they said they were going to.
Yeah, but they said they couldn't arrest him. He hadn't broken any law.
No, but see, if they could find him, then they could call Mary and tell her where he is, and she could go and maybe revive his memory.
A very interesting legal point. I don't know is they're authorized to even look for him. I mean, supposing I decided, excuse me, to go on a trip. Didn't tell anybody about it.
Where would you go, you think?
I don't know. Let's say Florida.
Okay, so you're going to Florida. When are you going?
When are you going, Greg? No, I'm just saying hypothetically. Let's just say I took off for Florida. Oh, took off what? No, he
means he just left for Florida, Calvin.
Well, goodbye, and if you don't send me a card, I'll be very angry with you.
Oh, he hasn't gone yet. When are you going, Greg?
I'm not really going. I'm just saying this is hypothetical.
Well, you said you're going to take off for Florida, didn't you?
Well, I know I said, but I'm just trying to... Let me finish. Let me make my point. Let him finish.
Yeah, make it a little clearer, because I can't understand
what I could go with you. You know, along about this time of the year, winter, when you're into the end of January or whatever, or 1st of June, I always like to get off and go away.
It's very warm in Florida, too, you know, but of course it's warm in Los Angeles as well.
1st of June. I mean, what kind of talk is this? I'm pretty confused. Well, I'm awfully confused. Well, here we have this thing for Milan, the opera. I don't know anything about that. And Harry, of course, is missing. The house is closed, as I understand. Was that closed? No, it's still open. It was early last week. Whoa. Oh, what? Took out. What? No, he
means he just left for Florida, Calvin.
Well, goodbye, and,
Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Having landed in Genoa, our friends decided not to continue on to Milan. Rather, they'll stay overnight at the Hotel Raphael. And in the grand dining room, we see Mary, Harry, Calvin, Pop, and Greg, who have just been seated as we hear.
Isn't it beautiful here?
Oh, it is.
My goodness.
All of that Rococo decoration.
Look at that bread sitting right here at your place, too.
Boy, this is neat. Some fancy place, all right, Greg. You really picked a nice hotel.
That's very nice.
How'd you know about this?
Well, I didn't. It was I went to the phone book and was the first one that jumped out at me.
Hotel Raphael, huh? Has a ring.
Oh, boy, it's really fancy. And look at these napkins. Aren't they beautiful?
I wonder if we could get some help in ordering. You suppose The head waiter can describe some of the food for us?
Oh, I'm sure.
Here, I'll,
Greg, have you been in touch with Milan yet to let them know we're here in Italy?
I thought we'd have a good meal, and then we'd go upstairs, and I'd place a call to the opera and talk with who's ever in charge up there and tell them that we're here in town.
Fine. I got a copy of the evening paper, Barry. Here's your picture on the front page.
Oh, my.
Pulled out of Genoa Harbor.
Oh, they got a picture of me with all the stuff all over me.
Oh,
my goodness, isn't that? I hope they don't see that back home.
I hope it has the effect you want, Greg. Of
I'm
creating
sure it
interest.
will. That's the kind of thing that will really fill the opera house.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
kind of an oddity.
Right. Here comes the head waiter. Good evening, sir.
Hello, sir.
Wonder if you'd give us a little assistance in ordering. We're not too familiar with food here.
Being from Rome, I am a pasta man, and I really, for me, a great dinner is a small appetizer and then a huge dish of pasta.
That sounds good.
Well, what is pasta? Is that like oatmeal?
No, it's kind of...
no, it's like your spaghetti, macaroni,
rigatoni,
vermicelli, ziti, that kind of thing.
Sure.
I find new sauces, and I love rigatoni.
Rigatoni.
It's like a sauce that is incredible, but it's so great.
How do you do it?
So you have a rigatoni.
Yeah.
Rigatoni.
All right, we'll have that. It'd be 5 rigatonis with the sauce you recommend.
And then you have a lot of heavy cream and basil. Fresh basil. A lot of fresh basil.
Fresh basil is a secret.
Pepper and Parmesan cheese.
Oh, that sounds good.
Boy, am I ever hungry.
Oh, and, sir, don't forget the ketchup.
When the rigatoni are ready, you just mix them up, and you have the most incredible dish in your life.
Well, it's the way you describe it, it sounds good, but don't forget the ketchup.
And don't forget una bottiglia of vino.
No, that's right. He wants a bottle of wine, and I'll have a bottle. How about you, Greg?
And we all tried it in this place, and they liked it, and I think
they do well
because we're really Italians.
Yes,
if we liked it, I think everybody else will like it.
You sold us, sir.
Yeah, work it.
We're all for it, and we'll have
5 bottles of wine. And 5 rigatonis in that sauce.
2 Bianco and 2 Russo.
And don't forget the ketchup.
And so our friends prepare for their first meal in Italy, and you'll want to join us on Monday when we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
Hello. They hung up on me.
That's Monday in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Mary Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. After spending their first night in Genoa, our friends left the following morning by train for Milan, where we see them now in their suite at the Hotel Raphael. Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin are discussing the suite hotel.
Say, Greg is over at the other end of the room making a phone call.
Did you ever see a living room as big as this in any hotel before?
Isn't it? It's such huge furniture. The bed, my goodness, look at the size of that.
Oh, this is a ritzy hotel he's booked us into.
Real walk-in closets, too, I'm telling you.
Kind of a coincidence. It's named the same as the one in Genoa, Raphael. Yeah, I noticed that.
Calling? Yes.
I hear Greg in there now. He's probably getting in touch with...
expecting a call from me.
Getting in touch with the Opera House.
Well, would you have him call me here?
When are you supposed to open, Harry?
Hotel Raphael.
I don't know. He's made all the arrangements. We're just going along with him, whatever he... What is it, Greg?
He's going to call me back.
Oh, good.
He was on another line.
That was the impresario at the opera, was it?
That's right. Say, boy, what a view. What
Isn't
a
it?
big city this is.
Oh, I hope we'll have time to take a tour of the city and see some of the sights.
It wouldn't be worthwhile coming all the way over here if we don't get to take a tour.
No.
When is that opera supposed to start, anyway?
Yeah, when are we supposed to open, Greg?
Well, I gave them 2 dates. April 2 is one, and a little later in April.
Do you know which opera we're going to appear in? Wouldn't be Così fan tutte, would it?
Gee, I forgot to ask him.
Well, that's something you should ask the impresario next time you call, Mr. Marlowe.
Yes, I'll do that. It could be Il Trittico by Puccini.
Well, that would be good, too. They're all Greek to me. Did you hear that, Barry, huh?
It's all Greek to you.
Well,
that's funny.
We're going to have to do some heavy studying before we take the stage at La Scala, that's for sure.
Am I going to sing, Mr. Marlowe, do you know?
Yeah, do you have plans for Calvin?
I don't know. I don't know what their plans are for you, Calvin. Maybe you'll just be the traditional spear carrier. I don't know.
What's that you've been studying there, Calvin?
Oh, this is room service menu.
Oh, good.
Let me see. Anything here that you might like? Perciatelli, vermicelli. Could have mazzani.
How about the ziti?
Linguine, the ziti. Tubatini.
What?
Tubatini. Tubatini?
Alcini pepe.
Uh-huh.
Rigatoni.
I know what that is.
How about fusilli?
That's one I haven't heard of before.
How about cavatelli?
How about that?
Yes, how about... Does it have on there Mostargioli Rigati?
Let me see. Yeah, it has Mostargioli Rigati. Let's call down and have one order of each.
Good idea. So our friends begin to make themselves comfortable at the Hotel Raphael in Milan. Tomorrow they'll take a tour of the local sites, and we'll hear Calvin say,
well, why don't you try some of this tubatini, and then I'll try some of the mazzani.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Backstage Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin are aboard a sightseeing bus touring the city of Milan as Greg Marlowe calls on the manager of La Scala Opera House. And as we join them, we hear...
Well, it's very interesting.
Driver, would you please slow down a little bit? We can't see anything.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, that's better.
And now we turn to Extreme Center, where we have the famous La Scala Opera House.
Say, there's the La Scala Opera House, Mary.
Oh, driver, could you stop for a minute?
Could you stop?
Yes.
Boy.
Oh,
Hi.
boy.
Driver, we'd like to get out here. See, this is where we're going to appear. And could you wait?
Could you wait a few minutes? We get out. We just want to take a walk around and look at it. Fine.
Come on, let's
step
down.
All right. That's the only word he knows in English.
Yes, I'm afraid it is.
And he must have that speech down, too.
The one he does on the piano. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy. Don't get so cranky, Mary. Life is so short. Yes, it's nice.
Yes, it's beautiful. We'll be back in just a few minutes, driver.
She's a little upset because she's nervous. Yes, that's nice. She's nervous about
Yes. I wonder where...
I'm getting upset myself.
I wonder where Greg would be.
Oh, yes. Get off this bus.
Well, I'm off. Come on, step down, Calvin. That looks like a kind of an office over there to the right of the main entrance. That's probably where Greg is.
Looks like a restaurant to me.
A what?
Beautiful fountain, isn't it?
Yeah, look at the birds around it, too. Doves, I guess.
Hey, hold me by the ankles. I'm going to reach in and get some of those coins, will you?
Well, I don't think they want you to do that, Calvin.
Oh, why not? Look, there's $50 in there and a couple of quarters and
well,
dimes.
Those are thrown in for good luck, and then they're picked up every so often.
Turned out it's going to be my good luck if I can reach over there and get some of that money.
Here, I'll hold you by your ankles,
okay,
Calvin.
Let me just reach in.
Stop! I told you to hold me!
Huh?
Look at
I'm sorry, Calvin.
Oh, brother.
Just slipped, that's all.
Tossing all the coins in here to get this suit cleaned and pressed again.
Oh, you are sopping wet. Here.
Oh, it's only ankle deep, but it certainly can ruin the suit.
Oh, yes, it can.
Oh, boy.
Is that the only suit you brought with you?
No, I have another suit. I have one of those sweatsuits I brought for when I go jogging in the morning.
Right, well, we better get back to the bus then, and at least you'll be dry. It's good it's warm, anyway.
I think I see Greg in there talking with somebody.
Oh, yeah, he sees us, so we'll wave to him. Hello, Greg.
He's waiting for us to come in. I guess he wants us to meet the general manager.
All right. Do you want to wait out here, Calvin?
No, I'll go in too. I want to meet him the first day.
Well, that's going to make rather a strange impression for you to be soaking wet in his office.
Well, whatever you say.
And so Mary and Harry find Greg in the office of the manager of La Scala. And tomorrow they'll go inside, and we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
Yes, it's La Traviata.
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. It's shortly after yesterday's episode now as Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin enter La Scala Opera House in Milan. Greg, already inside, is talking to the general manager about their forthcoming appearance. And as we join them, we hear Mary say,
Isn't this beautiful place?
It's truly breathtaking.
My. It's chilly, though, to be walking in here with a wet suit like I'm wearing.
Yes, does it seem to be drying out any, Calvin?
No, it's getting more clammy. You know, a big empty theater like this is kind of chilly.
Yeah, well, we won't stay too long. I did want to say hello to Greg and see how he's coming.
I'm getting kind of chill. I could
You could catch cold, you know.
I could stand
What? You could stand what?
Stand what?
Oh.
What do you mean? What do
I thought maybe a bottle of wine to warm me up a little.
Well,
you won't get any wine here at the Opera House.
Maybe when we get back to the hotel.
Why don't you go outside, I thought you would say, and stand in the sun?
That's a good idea, man.
Why don't I do that?
All right, go ahead.
I'll stand outside the sun and wait till you folks come out.
Or you could get aboard the bus. He said he'd wait for us.
No, I want to stand in the sun and dry off.
Oh, I see. Good idea. Sure.
Yes, all right then.
Well, we'll meet you out front then.
Sure.
I think Greg's over there in that direction, isn't he?
Should we go in, do you think?
Well, maybe we shouldn't interrupt him if
he's probably driving a hard business bargain right now, and I wouldn't want to interrupt.
That's right. At least we know what the opera is we're going to appear in, La Traviata, huh?
I don't think, looking here, that if I raised my voice in song, I could reach that second balcony up there.
Do you want to see if you can project a note back there? Have to be louder than that.
It's about the loudest I can do.
Let me try. Well, you're not going to sing, Pop. You don't need to do it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he will sing.
You think Mr. Barlow has me in mind for a role?
Sure he does. Too bad Calvin isn't here. He can sound a good note.
You want me to go get him and bring him back?
I'd like to hear what he sounds
okay. Like. Calvin!
What?
Step in here a minute.
All right.
Go over there and stand next to Harry and Mary and try a note. See if you can reach the second balcony.
Oh, we just a regular note that I'd sing probably in an opera?
Yeah, just any. That's not bad at all. Give it a little more breath, though.
Wait a minute. Why don't you go up in the third balcony and see if you can hear us, Pop?
Okay.
All right.
I will. Take me a little while to get up there.
Yes.
And so our friends have their first taste of the atmosphere of La Scala Opera House. Tomorrow you want to be here when Greg Marlowe makes a strange announcement. We hear him say,
"Well, it's all inked. We're all set to go."
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Yesterday, our friends got their first glimpse inside La Scala Opera House in Milan and were duly impressed as Greg discussed details of Mary and Harry's forthcoming appearance. Now, a short while later, they stand outside La Scala looking for the sightseeing bus, which appears to be nowhere in sight.
Well, I wonder where he went.
Well, I don't know. He said he'd wait for us, but there's no sign of him around, that's sure.
Well, it's such a nice afternoon. Maybe we just, do you think we could find our way back to the hotel if we walk?
I think I could. Of course, that bus driver drove so fast getting us here, I didn't have time to note the streets or anything. But...
You know, did you ever hear of deja vu?
Of who?
Deja vu.
Oh, you mean thinking you've been someplace before?
I have the feeling I've been here before. Maybe in another life.
In Milan?
Oh, for heaven's sakes, don't start that nonsense.
Well, maybe that would help us find our way back to the hotel. Do you know whether you stayed at the Hotel Raphael or not?
The whole thing looks very familiar to me, so why don't you just let me lead the way,
all right.
Follow me, and I'll direct you right back to the hotel.
You always did have a good instinct for direction, I know that.
I have that funny feeling I've been here before.
Well, I don't know about that. Which way will we go, then?
You're still wet.
I know it.
Yeah, you're all wet,
too.
Calvin.
Well, when we get back to the hotel, you can probably change into your, that other rig you have.
Yeah.
Sure, that'll be fine.
Sweatsuit I brought.
I guess Greg will know enough to realize we're back at the hotel and didn't wait for him, huh?
Oh, he can take a cab anyway. Greg is a big-time operator.
Oh, yeah, sure.
He wouldn't want to be walking along the streets peasant style anyway.
He certainly handled this trip well so far, though. Our accommodations on the SS Bagatelle and our hotel suite, they've all been just beautiful.
And not to forget that we are all signed up to appear in La Traviata.
Yes, that's right. I think we're due to open in not too long a time either.
I don't know when it is.
Wonder where we'll rehearse. Has Greg mentioned that at all, Mary?
I don't know.
What's that?
Has he mentioned where we might rehearse the opera?
Not to me. Maybe in the hotel. What is this?
Some kind of a street bazaar.
Yeah.
Wave to the Mary. I think they're...
That was an American there.
Oh, must have been, yeah.
Rowdies. They're probably from the 7th Fleet.
Well, it could be. You sure you know where we're going, Calvin? Are we going in the right direction?
Don't give it another thought. I know exactly where I'm going. I'm just following my nose by pure instinct. As I say, I've been here before.
Well,
hey, wait a minute.
What?
What's that fellow trying to sell there in that package?
I don't know. Some kind of pasta, maybe?
Yeah. Can we buy some of this stuff as long as we're here?
Well, I suppose so.
Hey, do you accept American money?
And so our friends make their way by foot toward the Hotel Raphael. Or are they headed in the right direction? Be sure and join us on Monday when we'll hear Mary say,
"My pocketbook. Where's my pocketbook?"
That's Monday in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage, Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage, Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. In our last episode, Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin decided to return to their hotel, the Raphael, on foot after visiting La Scala Opera House, where they'll open soon. And it's a short while later now, about half a mile away from the Opera House, as we hear Calvin say,
"Yes, sir. You just stay with me. I'll walk you right straight back to the Raphael."
Well, it looks like you know the way back, Calvin. I'll say that for you. Really making a beeline for someplace. Well, I hope it's the hotel.
Yeah, well,
yes,
don't worry about it. I wish I knew the language. You know, when you...
It's Italian.
Oh, I know it's Italian, but I mean, I wish I could talk it.
Oh, yes, it would be a big help.
You know, it's a shame when you go away, you miss half the fun.
Well, step on the curb here, Calvin. Watch that.
Yeah.
Car's kind of...
What's where you're going, buddy? Well, he doesn't know what I'm saying either, probably.
That's right. If he did, he might...
Now, come on, we go down this street now.
How'd you just happen to pick this street, Calvin?
I tell you, I've been here before. I think maybe in another life.
As what? What do you suppose you were? A cat, a dog, something like that?
No, I think I probably was a Roman gladiator.
Either that or maybe a gondolier.
What's that?
Not in Venice, not in Milan. He wouldn't be a.
What's a gondolier?
One of those fellows who poles those boats in the canals in Venice. You know.
Poles the boat? What do you mean? Asking who they're going to vote for?
No. He makes the boat go with a big oar, a single oar.
Oh, I don't think I'm familiar with that.
Well, they're in Venice anyway. They're not here.
Hey, what?
Oh, I just missed it. Mary, you all right?
Where is Mary?
Mary? She was with us a moment ago.
Mary?
Mary? Well, we'd better stop. No.
I told her to follow us.
Yes, we were trying to stay together here. We turned right back there at that corner.
Well, we better double back to where we were.
Now, come on, hurry. This is terrible if we've lost Mary, much less...
She doesn't know a word of the language either.
Doesn't know the language, doesn't know where we're going, because we don't either, except Calvin thinks he does.
She couldn't even ask directions.
No, well, maybe she could make herself understood if she could use signal language like she's going to her hotel.
Is that it? No.
No.
Thought for a minute that was Mary.
Now we're up to the end of this street. I don't see her in that direction.
Mary?
I don't see her in that direction. Mary?
Mary?
Well, that's not going to do any good, Calvin. She's certainly too far away from us to hear us call.
This is too bad, isn't it?
Well, why would she do that? We're all walking. Oh, there's a policeman. Maybe he can help us.
Officer?
Officer?
This is backstage. His wife is missing. He was walking...
He's walking away.
He didn't know either.
And so, Harry, Calvin, and Pop look around excitedly, having discovered that Mary is missing. You want to join us tomorrow when we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
"Where is Mary?"
That's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking.